always wonder how many takes it's going to take me to do a video, and this is my third one on this, and hopefully it'll be shorter. Jesus, it was 20 minutes last time. Let's cut it. Anyways, controversial topic today from basically a clinic that people consider to be controversial, so I don't really know how controversial it is, but anyway, discussing the topic of detransitioning. What is it? What do I do for it and stuff, and how the reactions to it seem to be. So detransitioning for me, for like medical stuff, you know, there's all kinds of people, it will determine what it means to them. But for myself, when someone comes to my clinic and says, I want to detransition, then I'm going to say, okay, obviously, you know, you have been on some kind of a regimen that has physically changed you. Usually hormone therapy, sometimes surgical stuff. There's not a whole lot I can do about surgical stuff, although I can refer people on to, you know, surgeons and whatnot. But, you know, someone has been on hormone therapy and they've decided it's not for them. So they come to me, or they are my patient, and I decide to help them. For some people, if they've been on hormone therapy only a very limited amount of time, they can just come off of it. It's fine. The gonads that they were born with will just kick on, and you know, in a few weeks to a few months, depending on how long they've been on hormone therapy. And then there's nothing to worry about there. It'll just kick back on, and any of the very slight changes they might have experienced will likely atrophy and go right back to baseline. Perfectly fine. Depending on one's overall health and the length of time you've been on hormone therapy and your age, you may need a little bit of help with hormone therapy that's more geared towards the gender you were assigned at birth. For example, I had someone who was assigned male at birth. They went on estrogen therapy for about a year and a half, a little more than a year and a half. And due to societal pressures and just stupid crap, they decided I just can't do this at this point in time in my life, and maybe not ever. And because of the labs I had gotten before they went on hormone therapy, I knew that not only were they over the age of 50, but also they had a baseline testosterone level that was already fairly low. So coming off of estrogen therapy, and having their own gonads kick back on for testosterone production was not going to go as fast as it could if they had had more like normal levels of testosterone to facilitate that. And so what we decided on after a lengthy discussion was we were going to do testosterone replacement therapy for them, and give that a shot for about a year or so, see how they feel during that time, and if that's really what they, you know, want to do and all that. And so there we go. You know, that's going to help, you know, turn that clock around for them. Of course, there's some things that you can't expect to reverse, such as if you have had already some significant chest tissue breast development. If you have much more than just under an A cup, then you probably are going to be just experiencing some breast tissue atrophy, and then you're going to be stuck with just kind of like some flabby flab up here, which can over time, depending on the size, can over time kind of recede a little bit. But if it's that big a deal, then you may have to go and actually have tissue removed. And then, like on the other side, if you've been on testosterone therapy and had, say, voice changes, that's permanent. You may have to do voice training to get your previous, more feminine type voice back, if you so desire. Some people don't care. I mean, hey, personal choice. I'm all about those personal choices. So most of the effects, such as like the body fat redistribution, you know, over the whole torso and legs and like face and stuff, that stuff will revert back towards baseline prior to HRT. But like chest tissue development, voice, So there are a couple of things that are considered, you know, more permanent. But overall, if someone says, I want to detransition, then we're going to talk about like their age, their health, how long they've been on hormone therapy. Can they just come off and see what happens? That's fine, you know, in most cases. Do they need a little supplemental hormone therapy that's going in the opposite direction for a little while or for life, depending? I have patients who are 60s and 70s and stuff, and they may need that hormone supplementation afterwards if they decide to detrans. So that's basically what I do. I don't judge. people have their own reasons for doing things. It's none of my business if they decide that they want to detrans, whether they're my patient or not. You know, I have some people who are my patients and decide to do this. I have people who aren't my patients and they come and enroll at our clinic because I'm so open about it, and you know, and I will help them. It's fine. The vast majority of people who detransition do so for external reasons. Studies show. So external reasons being like society and stuff, like, you know, they're losing a job because of it, they're losing family, their religion, and all this stuff is just kind of against them continuing to transition, and so they just decide it's all too much, you know, for now and maybe forever in their life, and so they just decide to stop. Perfectly valid reason, and it's your own business, none of mine. Some people they get on hormone therapy for a few months, and you know, they just decide, oh, this really wasn't the thing that I needed. Like, I'm good with just my social transition. I don't really need the physical changes that hormone therapy can do. So then they decide to just stop, and that's fine, you know. And I've had so many people that did that who were ever grateful for the chance to get to try out hormone therapy and how they felt on it, because if they hadn't, they were just like, well, I'd never know, and I would always wonder, did I miss something in my life? What if I would have done it? And since I got to try it, now I know. And knowledge is power, and it's priceless sometimes. So let's talk about a little bit about like the negative connotation that detransing has. So, of course, the knee-jerk reaction by, you know, medical providers such as myself and also the trans community is generally going to be, oh my god, a detranser, push them away, because they're going to get caught up in the statistics and numbers that are used by anti-trans organizations to try to delegitimize people who do transition for, you know, and transgender people in general. And so it's like a fear. It's almost like we fear them. I mean, I don't. I'm just talking in general. I mean, but whenever I first started this, it was kind of like an eerie thing that I was just like, oh man, what if someone decides to detransition? Does that mean that I did the wrong thing? No, I gave them a choice. You know, I gave them a choice. I've educated them along the way and been very open in communication, and, you know, it's their decision to go forward or not. But anyway, but the knee-jerk reaction of healthcare providers and the trans community in general seems to be very negative, and to try and ostracize that person and just get them out of our sight because we don't want to be associated with, you know, trans failure of hormone therapy or something. But honestly, I mean, that's a lot of toxicity to throw at somebody who, like I said, most people are having to do this because of external circumstances, and that's a lot of toxicity to throw on someone who's already experiencing toxicity, and that's their reason for not continuing. But I mean, people's reasons are their own and they're private, so also they should be allowed to make the choice, and I think that we should support them and we should show them kindness, because what we do when we ostracize people and when we throw nastiness their way is we push them into the arms of these anti-trans groups, who will then feed them all of the bad things and tell them that they were tricked and everything. And they essentially brainwash these people into believing that everything was a lie and that, you know, it was a horrible time and all that. And so I just find it's easier to treat people with understanding and kindness and empathy, and leave their choices to them. It's their personal business, and show them, you know, still be welcoming, because these people may have made friends and found a community that they, you know, at least could still feel like they have a part of, even if they're not deciding to go forward with transitioning. It's just better all around for everybody, rather than pushing them away and giving more fuel to the fire of the anti-trans people who will definitely welcome them with open arms. Yeah, let's just not do that. Let's not give, you know, any more ammo than those crazy idiots need out there. So yeah, give kindness. So if someone comes to me and they want to detransition, I have absolutely no problem with it. We'll discuss what their options are. Treat them with kindness. There's no sense in being weird about it. You know, you may not understand it, but then a lot of people don't understand why trans people transition. So, you know, I guess think of it that way. Just, you know, as long as they're doing something that's not hurting someone else, let them go about their business. Now, I do know that some do get turned on the trans community, and I get that that's a large part of the whole knee-jerk reaction, is that whenever these detrans people get accepted in open arms and everything by these groups, and then they start spewing their hate and saying that they were tricked and that it's all fake and everything, that can be quite distressing, which is why, again, we need to keep them, open communication and kindness and everything, so that they do not get forced into that kind of a situation where they have to accept that as their reality in order to cope. So anyway, in closing, treat people with kindness, and if you have questions about detransitioning, you can also email me those kind of things. I certainly don't mind, or you can see me to detransition. I wish it wasn't treated like such a dirty word, because I think it's just, everybody is on their own journey. Everybody has to make their own decisions, just because, for example, like I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 tattoos, that doesn't mean that I have to continue getting tattoos, and it's not like if I laser off one of my tattoos that all the people that have tattoos are going to come after me and, I don't know, push me out of the tattoo. That's a really bad analogy, sorry. But, hopefully you get what I'm saying. It's just, people have their reasons, and they deserve to have space, and we shouldn't judge them for that. Everyone has their own journey, and if they discover along that journey that continuing in one direction is just not possible for them right now, then we should respect that, and help them be the most healthy and productive member of society that they can be. So, okay, I'm all rainbows and fucking sunshine today, ain't I? Alright, y'all. Hopefully someone found this interesting, and at least I made it shorter than the last take. I think I'll actually use this one, so yay!